Well, happy Mother's Day. Pastor Mark here. Really excited to interview the wonderful women from our family and talk about what God has been teaching you. I'll start with you, sweetie pie. So, being a mom, 5 kids, thank you for 5 people. I say that all the time. Thank you for 5 people. How does God use motherhood and raising the kids to disciple mom?
Every day they're discipling me because as I'm correcting them, I'm realizing that I taught them what they're doing wrong. And so it's discipling me.
Well, a lot of that too was me, if I'm totally honest. Yeah.
Well, there's some of that. But, we both teach our kids good and bad. But it's like Spurgeon says, train your child up in the way they should go, but make sure you're going that way as well. And so it's constantly, what do I need to repent of first? What do I need to apologize for as I'm correcting them? It also disciples you in love, because with 5 kids, they all need to be loved differently, and they all need to be loved, but there's unique ways that they need to be loved. And so repentance, love, just so much that I've learned. And if I choose not to learn it along the way, it made motherhood a lot harder, because it is a lot of work to be a mom, but it is a blessing. And part of it is a blessing because you're learning as much as they're learning. And it's a beautiful thing to learn together and to then see who God creates them to be and the plan he has for each of their lives.
But how does it feel now seeing, kids getting older, getting married, becoming parents themselves? It's worth it, right?
It's a total joy. I love watching our kids and daughter-in-laws raise the grandkids. It's so fun to see them enjoy kids too in the family. I love it so much. Makes it worth it.
So, sweetie pie, you were like your dad, firstborn driver, type A, organized.
Was.
Okay. Well, we've been praying. And so you had a plan for your life, and then maybe tell a little bit about what your plan was and now what his plan is and how that's going.
Yeah, I think it was always hard for me to figure out how to do all the things that I love doing, right? I love ministry and languages and traveling and all these different types of jobs and hobbies. I like painting and, it's all these things. And I was like, how in the world am I going to do that with a husband and kids? And I was trying to cram everything together, and I just thought maybe I just won't get married. I don't know, maybe I'll just go travel the world or something. And then I feel like God really changed my heart after many, many years of him trying and me fighting it. And I met Landon, and then it was oh wow, I can envision us doing in ministry together, raising a family together. He's incredible and dependable and loyal and faithful to the Lord and all the things that you would want in a husband. And I started to see okay, I don't have to do this alone. I don't have to figure my life out completely on my own. I don't have to be independent. I don't have to fix everything. There's actually so much purpose and value in finding a good husband, partnering with him, and then having a family out of that. And so it was really cool. And I feel I've had to self-sacrifice a lot, obviously, now having a 1.5-year-old who is a little bit wild. Obviously, he's a little boy, so it is what it is. But
he is a mini cowboy.
Yeah, he really is. He's got his garden and his chickens, and he loves it. He just toddles around the yard eating dirt. He's good to go. But I feel when I was single, I never could have envisioned what my life would have looked like now. But I see how God has put all the pieces together to where I am using all of my giftings, and I'm doing it in a way that's not just for me. It's mostly supporting my husband so he can provide for our family, and then I'm coming alongside that, and also providing a life for my son where I know that he's growing in the Lord and in all of the skills and meeting all the people that we want him to, and being discipled in all the ways that we would have hoped for. And it's God put this life together for us to be able to raise our kids that way. So it's been a huge blessing, but I feel definitely shifted a lot of my mindset, a lot of my thinking about priorities, and just not putting myself first.
How fun is it having your little buddy?
Oh, it's the best. It's very fun. I feel he's old enough now where he's interacting, and he knows what's going on. We go to the library and he picks out books and he's I want to read, and he'll bring it and sit with me, and he's fun. And it's not just taking care of a baby anymore. I love that, but it was hard work, Now it's we can go do stuff and hang out, and he's talking a lot. So yeah, it's a good time.
It's awesome. We'll come back to you at the end, sweetie pie. So Brycey, talk about getting married young and then thinking, hey, we're going to wait a while and then start our family. And you're we're going to wait a minute and then start our family.
Right. Yeah, it's been very sanctifying. I'm very thankful to be married to someone who is fully devoted to God. I think that has been the biggest thing for me, especially just in having to trust God's plan over our plan. Initially, we were hoping to wait 2 years, and I'm so thankful our daughter is the biggest blessing to us. But yeah, getting married is already, you're trying to figure out how to serve one another and living together. And then immediately getting pregnant added a whole other difficulty in a good way, because there's a lot of dying to myself that I had to experience, kind of like you were saying, Ashley.
So Bryce, how old were you and Calvin when you got married?
I was 23, freshly 23, and Calvin was 21.
Yeah.
So very young. Yeah.
So, and you guys were thinking, wait a few years and then start having children. How long was it before you got pregnant?
2 months.
2 months.
We were initially anticipating, hopefully 2 years. But we love kids. And so we were like, there was definitely some fear that was brought up, but the both of us really went to God and had to trust his plan over our own and surrender that. And I know that he's taught both of us so much in doing that.
But how much, you're one of the most loving people we've ever met. You're a total sweetheart.
We agree.
Yeah, right. Yeah. All in favor? So what is it like now having your daughter to love? Because you were kids ministry coordinator, you're loving and serving everyone else's kids. Now you've got your little girl. What's that like?
She is the best, truly. Yeah, she is she has, I think, just reaffirmed a lot of what the calling God has put over my life. And for so long, I've wanted to be a mom. And it was really hard. I think that was something that I wasn't anticipating going into motherhood, was how difficult it was going to be. And there are a lot of factors that played into that. But all that to say, I, just like any other mom would say, it's the best job ever.
It's worth it.
It's so worth it, every single thing. And so she has taught me so much of what it means for me to die to myself. And I know ultimately that's, God is continually sanctifying us, bringing us to be a better version of ourselves, before we get to go to heaven. And she has been just one of the biggest factors I know I will probably ever experience in this lifetime.
Well, you're a great mom. She's adorable and a total blast. And then what's really cute is there's the 3 grandsons, and then the granddaughter, the older 2 boys that can walk and talk, they always come and check on her and give her hugs and kisses and bring her things, and they're already going big brother, and that includes Mighty Mo, what I call him. And so, Chloe, maybe a little bit a backdrop. So, how old were you and Zach when you guys met?
We met in middle school, so I was 13 and Zach was 14 a while ago.
Yeah, Zach came home and he's like, I met a really nice girl. I didn't know we'd end up here.
Yep.
And so, so how old were you guys when you got married?
I was 20 and he was 21, so we were also very young, which I was very thankful for, that we got to do life together so young and just start our life, which was great.
Well, you kind of grow up together.
Yeah.
But now you've got 2 boys, so you grew up no brothers. So what's it like being double boy mom?
It's very different. I think growing up with all sisters, and I was right in the middle, I, would play with my older sisters and help with my younger sisters, and we'd play house or carry our dolls around, help clean, help cook, and it
there's none of that going on in your house.
Meanwhile, Zach's eating dirt in the backyard. But I think it really grew my love for the idea of being a mother one day, and so I was always excited to be a mom. If you asked me in kindergarten what my dream job was, it was always a mom. So I was very excited to become a mom, but the thought of having a boy first terrified me. And so when we found out that Moses was a boy, I was over the moon excited. But immediately, God started working on my heart and showing me and revealing to me how I was gonna have to parent and shift not only my ideas of being a mother, but also a wife. I had all the plans, I'm gonna figure out sleep schedule and eating and, find all the clothes and toy rotations and all that random stuff. And of course, every kid is different, so it doesn't work with every kid, but I had that down. But I needed to submit myself to God and to Zach and know that he has to take over some areas. And there was a day at the kitchen table, Zach just looked at me and goes, I think it's time that I take more of the lead with Mo now. And I was in shock. He's my baby. But quickly, God was like, he's not just your baby, but he's going to be a man one day.
Absolutely.
And you need him to be a man of God. Yeah. And in order to do that, you need to humble yourself and submit to Zach and submit to me and know that I have such a great plan for your kids. And I've seen that on days when both the boys are having a tough time, I can try a million different things to fix it. And all they need is a hug from their dad.
So true.
And maybe to wrestle. So that's been really cool to see. And motherhood has grown my marriage in a way I didn't expect, because I was really nervous going into motherhood, being like, I'm gonna lose myself in being a mom, and I'm gonna forget to serve my husband, and I'm not gonna have time to read my Bible. But God's really turned that around and be like, you won't be able to be a mother without that. So that's been really sweet to see.
Awesome.
Are you enjoying being a mom?
Of course. It's the most fun thing and beautiful disaster at the same time. And I wouldn't want anything different.
Yeah. You're an incredible mom. Incredible. The boys are amazing. And their personalities, so soon you realize they're just different.
Yes, 100%. It's really cool to see. I just look at Mo and see Zach in so many different ways. And Riley's just my little buddy. And
Well, he's the happiest little boy we've ever seen.
yes,
He's just
she wakes
joyful.
up smiling.
Yeah.
It's really sweet. Definitely needed that with 2 under 2.
And so, Mom, I wanted to thank you. You're an incredible mom, and you've loved me and the 5 kids that you had, and you've loved the grandkids, and both of the grandmothers were heavily involved in the raising of our kids. And so you guys got a lot of time with the grandparents, and they gave us date nights and a lot of time. But Mom, growing up, I mean, Dad worked very, very hard, but financially, things were tight. But you were very determined to stay focused on the family, to not go off to work. And so I don't remember anyone else in our neighborhood having a mom who was home and a dad who was present. That was it. And there was a lot of guys in my neighborhood that it hasn't gone well for them. Some of the guys I grew up with, they're not even with us anymore. But you were there and you were focused on family. Dad provided. Why did you have such deep convictions that focusing on family and making sure that your kids were doing well was a high priority? Why was that?
You kids always came first, always. Even the neighbor kids. We never sat down to a meal with just the family.
Yeah.
And if anybody needed an extra coat or something, God always provided for us. Always. We never had more than enough, but we had just enough.
Yeah.
And you kids, you were like raising a lawyer, to be truthful.
There's my mom. Yeah.
He's on the good side,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
But all 5 of you kids are very, very competitive. You're all successful. You all love Jesus. Can't ask for anything more than that.
Yeah. But Mom, you not only, I think you alluded to it, you didn't just mother, and I apologize for being a teenager. I cannot imagine raising me. That would be exhausting. But not only did you mother your kids, you mothered the whole neighborhood. So maybe explain a little bit about our house and kids coming over and staying over and getting coats and getting meals.
Well, there was a lot of kids, like you said, in the neighborhood that didn't have both parents. And so they always congregated to our house. I always wanted them all to my house because I wanted to monitor what was going on. And I didn't trust, like, you can't trust a lot of people. I mean, there was a time when you were invited to another little boy's house to spend the night. And there was a discernment, and I said, okay, we'll put your stuff in the trunk of the car, but you follow my lead. We got over there. I didn't find the situation good at all. And I explained to the lady that my dad was sick, and Mark loved my dad, and we were going there. And I'm so sorry that he couldn't stay. I mean, that's just the way it was.
Yeah.
And we moved kids in a lot.
Yeah, we had kids live with us at different points that didn't have anywhere to go.
Yeah, I mean, I would like, Michelle was a senior, and I said, oh, by the way, we've got another girl moving in with us. She said, oh, okay.
Yeah.
We always had somebody staying over. And Dad coached baseball for 16 years, and I was the team mom and worked on at the concession stand. And we had a batting cage in the backyard.
I remember that. I apologize too. Originally, that was your garden, and then you left for a weekend, came back, and it was a batting cage, and the garden was gone. So I apologize for that as well. It seems to be a theme in this interview. Yeah.
But that kept me busy cooking, baking cookies and everything for the neighbors. And we still hear back from a lot of the kids, I do, thanking me, and they're doing good. So they went out to college. Some of them wouldn't have gone on to college if I wouldn't have moved them in.
Yeah.
They're doing good. I'm proud of all of you kids. I got a lot of grandkids, and it's still busy.
Yeah. Well, I love you, Mom, and I'm very, very grateful for you. And you prayed me and us into the kingdom. You were the first believer. Maybe quickly share kind of how God healed you and where your relationship with God really activated.
I had something really bad wrong with my neck, and I was totally incapacitated, and I would sit with ice packs all the time, and I couldn't. And I had horrible migraines, and I couldn't get up and function. Dad had to take over, And then I remember it was a Wednesday, and I'm laying in bed in the afternoon, and I prayed and prayed and prayed, and everything shifted in my neck. It was extremely painful. And I went to sleep, and I woke up about an hour later, and I walked out. I said, Dad, what do you want for dinner? I'm healed. And it was true, yeah. And, when you were over in Turkey and that, God woke me up at 3 a.m. Pray for Mark, pray for the kids, pray for Grace. I get that a lot anymore. I get woke up even to this day, 3 o'clock in the morning every morning, and I have to pray. Keeps me busy because I have a lot more to pray for now.
Yeah. Well, we sure love and appreciate you, Mom, and thank you. And thank you for being so involved in the raising of the grandkids. They got a lot of time with you and Pops, and it was wonderful. And so did you, Linda. You not only raised 3 daughters, you were very invested, very involved in helping us with the 5 kids. But I was going to ask you, as a pastor's wife, what difference do you think it makes, and how important is it to raise your kids to love the church and to serve in church? Because all your daughters love and serve in church, and now all your, now the grandkids are loving and serving in church, and really that was your devotion that started all of that.
I think it's important as a parent to lead by example. Yeah. And I loved the church and became a Christian at a young age. And so I was raised in the church, and it was just kind of natural to, raise the children that way. That was my heart's desire, that they grow up to love Jesus and live for him. And so it was kind of natural for me to do that, And it was very important because I wanted them to follow Jesus, and because I knew he had a plan for their life, and I wanted them to find out what that plan was.
Yeah.
So,
how long have you been serving in the church? I mean, how many years consistently?
Well, from 18 on.
Wow. So many years.
I was 25 years.
I was coming up on 10 years.
I started out by doing hospitality when I was 18 at the church for the younger crowd and college age and so forth, and that's where I got started, and then went on.
That's where you're ending too.
Hey, she's not done yet.
But then you moved to Arizona to be closer to our family, our extended family. We love having you. It's a blessing having you. And it's one of the highlights of the week for me. We have all the grandkids over on Sunday, and you come over and hang out with the great grandkids, which is really beautiful and wonderful to see. And so, Linda, just thank you. Thank you for serving your family. Thank you for serving the church. Thank you for serving the Lord. Thank you for serving all of us. And you've made it very, very easy for me to love and appreciate you because all you've ever done is help. You've just been incredibly helpful your entire life. But teaching the kids to serve in church, I know you got that from your mom.
I did.
You love the church, you serve in the church,
I did.
and then the kids grow up to love and serve in the church, and we end up planning a church together. And I think a lot of that started with Grandma Linda. And so thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And then Lexi, I'm going to have you go last. So what have you learned and appreciated from the moms in your life? And then you can close our time in prayer. But what has it been like seeing the moms go before you, and what are you learning?
Well, I've been in kids ministry for a very long time. I mean, I've loved kids since a very young age, so it's not like, anything new having a lot of kids around me, but it is very odd seeing the people that you have grown up with become parents. Because even I've known Chloe for a hot second. And so it's not that I grew up with her, but just seeing all of them step into the roles that they were exactly made for has been really cool. And it's been honestly a testament to just how close they are to the Lord by putting him first. And all of three of you guys have the correct order of Lord, husband, children. It's clear that all of them love their husbands and put them first. And it's really cool to see just the bravery that's come with each of the different pregnancies and the hardships that have come through that too. And how they continue to just walk in their faith through those. So
What's it like seeing your sister become a mother?
it's weird because it's just not something that I ever thought of as a kid.
Yeah, you don't envision it.
Yeah, when we were sharing a room, she was always a good sister, but I just never put her in the role of mom. And then when she had Indy, I was like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It was just practice all along. Yeah. So you're welcome for being a practice child.
Yeah, I know. I was always making you get rid of your stuffed animals, and now he's extremely attached to every single one.
Good luck with
He
that.
has a 5x5 ball pit full of stuffies.
Good.
So it's like our room growing up.
You can't let him get rid of any of them. It's trauma.
Well, happy Mother's Day. Sweetie Pie, would you close our time out of prayer? All right,
absolutely.
thank you.
Dear Lord, I just thank you for all the mothers here today. I just thank you that you have specifically placed each of them in a role where they were born and destined to be. And Lord, I just pray that as we go on with this Mother's Day, you will remind them that by their own strength, they cannot raise children, but only through you, Lord, and the help of their husbands and community, that they can fully raise children to love and glorify you. And they're not supposed to do it on their own, Lord. But thank you for the mothers and their bravery and strength and just honoring of you, Lord. And thank you for this Mother's Day, Lord. And I pray that as all the mothers go out today, that they would feel loved and honored. Amen.
Thanks for joining me. My name is Pastor Mark. I've been teaching the Bible for more than 3 decades and head on constant collisions with woke culture. And I would love to get you more Bible teaching. 2 things you can do. Go ahead and watch the sermon in total and also subscribe to the channel. And I'll just keep sending you Bible teaching and we'll have a lot more fun together.